The aim for me is always to keep cutting down my costs and trying to increase my income, my inflow of money, because that's the only way you can have time to relax and spend less time on the road when your expenses is less and your income is higher.
You know, mentors don't tell me I go find work. They say by driving not go pay. I'm on a very long trip, all the way from Diamond Station, go to do down to Diamond State, Igondo. Wow, what a coincidence!
Hey, good morning, YouTube. What's happening, all the wonderful drivers out there, all the fantastic passengers? You guys are welcome to the Driverpreneur channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about this incident that happened to a driver, a colleague, and it's quite unfortunate. It's quite very unfortunate, and I want to sound this as a warning and an advice, because if I've not experienced this firsthand myself, I wouldn't have believed that somebody can pass on from sleeping in their car. I've experienced it before. There was a day I was so tired to drive home, so I decided to sleep in my car. And while I was sleeping, I had, should I say, a heat. I wouldn't call it a heat stroke, but I was so hot that I could feel it from my subconscious that I was so hot, and I was like almost choking. And what happened was I turned on my car, turned on the AC in my car to allow the car cool very well. Then I turned the car off back. Then I slept. I said, okay, I decided to take a nap while the car was cool, and I slept off with the glasses wound up. And then in my sleep, the vehicle got so hot. The vehicle was airtight, of course, so there was little or very less oxygen for me to breathe in proper oxygen. And then I was sweating. So I woke up. The heat woke me up from sleep. Like I felt like I was almost dying. I felt I was almost passing out. So this driver in this video, however, the full story was not made clear, but the news and the story was that the guy died in his sleep. Obviously, the guy passed the night in his car, because if you see from the picture, he was like almost stripped naked. He had his clothes off, had his trousers off, putting on only boxers. I guess probably he was driving all day and was tired, maybe too tired to drive home, and he decided to sleep in his vehicle, probably with the car on. And the unfortunate incident happened that he died in his car, according to the report I got from the WhatsApp group that I am. And this is quite unfortunate, because you can never replace life. So that's why no matter how much you hustle, please always try to place your health at first priority. Always make sure you create time to rest, to eat well, to relax. Another thing that could have happened is, because after that incident happened to me, I went online to research people dying in their car, and I see that even if you have your car even on all through the night, maybe the AC on and you're sleeping in the car, exhaust fumes, which is carbon monoxide, which is part of the very deadly fume, can escape into your car. Because when the car is running, your car is not 100% airtight, so there are some holes under that passes through where your exhaust pipe is, and those exhaust carbon monoxide can come into your car, and this gas is odorless and colorless. You won't even notice, and you just breathe in this, and then you have carbon monoxide poisoning, which would deprive your cells from oxygen, and that could lead to death. So please, I'm sounding this as a point of advice or warning. Please desist from sleeping in your car if you drive full time. Even if you are a part-time driver, please don't be tempted to sleep in your car. And even if you must sleep in your car at all, if for any reason you have to sleep in your car, make sure your car is properly ventilated, park in a very safe place. And this is how I achieve that, because sometimes it's inevitable. Just in the bid to cut down costs, most drivers stay in a little bit far outskirts of town, so they can be able to afford their rent. and sometimes going home you may be tired, or the traffic going home may be too much, and you may just feel very tired to drive. Or maybe you took a long distance trip, which have happened to me in several times in the past. I took a very long trip, maybe from Ikeja or the airport, going to somewhere around Awoyaya or Abijo, especially on Uber, where you don't get to see where your destination is. So on getting to those places, you know, driving all the way back home, it may be too late. Maybe the traffic going there is too much, and you got there maybe around almost 1 a.m. in the morning, and you just see it doesn't make sense to drive home, you know, because of safety and every other factor that you may consider. So if in such cases where you have no choice but to pass a night in your car, I advise you keep your car cross ventilated. And how do I achieve that? You can't wind down totally in the traffic, I mean in where you sleep, because mosquitoes are going to deal with you and bugs are going to deal with you. So I achieved that using this permeable net. This net, I put it on back of my door, the window. It has pores in it, and then air can go in and out. And so I have some couple of them. This is still a new one. I have this one in my pack. I did a review on this particular car mosquito net. I'll leave the link to that video. You can go check that video out and see how it works. And these nets are very affordable. I have this one already here in Nigeria, so if you need it, if you need this one, you can, you know, message me in the comment section. Very limited stock. I think I have just 2 left that I have, like this, that I can just ready for shipment. I can sell this to you directly. Message me if you're interested to buy this. It's very limited. I think just 2 is left. But if you want to order it yourself directly, I will leave the link to get this net in the description of this video. I'll leave it. Probably the first link will be the link to buy this directly yourself. So guys, please be safe out there, because life is just one. We can't hustle. It's quite unfortunate that somebody will go out and, you know, try to get his daily bread and then die in the process. This is not what we want for ourselves, or we wish for any other person around us, or even anybody we don't know, because it's hard work, and then you die, you know, and working hard you die. It's sad. It's sad. It really breaks my heart, because I've been there too, you know, where you have, and that is why I always tell driver, work on cutting down your costs, your expenses. Work on cutting down your expenses. I used to stay in an apartment where I was paying about 400,000, close to 400,000 yearly. I had to downsize. I downsized to a smaller, a much smaller place where I was paying like almost half of that, you know. And the aim for me is always to keep cutting down my costs and trying to increase my income, my inflow of money, because that's the only way you can have time to relax and, you know, spend less time on the road when your expenses is less and your income is higher. You know, if you have that, if you can achieve that, you won't be having to spend 12 hours, 16 hours on the road. You know, so that is my advice for drivers. Please always make sure you try as much as possible to cut down your expenses and increase your income. So guys, please stay safe out there. Avoid sleeping in your car with your car running or with your glass one up. If you must sleep, make sure you get something like this, which I'll leave in the description. I'll also leave the video of the review in the description. If you want the I think I have those 2 left, you can DM me and I would ship this, and it will tell you how much it is, and then how you can receive yours. Observe a moment of silence for the driver that passed on. May his soul rest in peace. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching. This is Driverpreneur channel. I share my experience here as a full-time Lagos-based driver. I've been driving for over 2 years now. I share my experience. I talk about happenings around the rideshare industry, you know, happenings around the road. So if this is your first time coming across my channel and you haven't subscribed in the past, take 1 second to subscribe. Hit on that subscribe button and turn on bell notification. This way you get notified every time I post new video. So guys, stay safe out there and peace.